Good morning, everybody. Whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast. What's happening, man?
It is a great morning. I'm feeling great. The show, back with my boy Bo. So
Hey.
Let's go, man.
Oh, man. Nick bringing the
that was early.
Right?
47 seconds into the show.
Just right into it. And you don't even get the benefit of him seeing it today. So
right.
You got to bring that same energy tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome. Like, yeah, they were hating on you on the show yesterday. What? Yeah, I wasn't even there. I know. That's how much the hate is.
Right. Dude, and it wasn't even like around the way hate. It was like, I hate you.
Yes. My favorite part is the transition. It's, oh, hey, good morning, guys.
Yeah, it's straight out of that movie. If you're cool, and I'm out.
Oh wow! So, and thank you,
man.
It's nice to be back. Real life sucks sometimes.
It is overrated a lot of times. Yeah.
Yes.
Sadly, when we don't get to keep him, though, he's going off to bigger and better things.
Whoa, I won't say that. He's going off to things.
I'm actually the problem. See, he was bringing that same Nick energy. He's like, I hate this Bo guy.
Yeah, that would never be the case. Doing a show with you, Bo, has been one of the highlights of the whole podcasting thing, man. And I've always appreciated it. So.
No. I love having you here. And of course, obviously we're sad to see you go. No, Pags isn't leaving, although he's only here half the time anyway. But now Herb is venturing on. So he doesn't want to get up early. That's really what it is. He doesn't even have this other job offer. He's just like, this is just early, guys.
Oh, which sadly enough, I have to be at the other place earlier than the show even starts. I'm not used to that at all.
Well, and I say that jokingly because y'all get to sleep in. Like, I don't even feel bad for you guys.
Yeah. I couldn't do what you like starting a show at 6 a.m. If you said Herb, I want to do a show at 6. The only thing I would think of doing a show at 6 a.m. is I'd agree to it because then it would be out of the way of everything else I was doing anyway. Nobody could ever say, hey, Herb, you're going to be there at 6? No. So I could always do it. So thank you, Mom. I appreciate it. But it's definitely bittersweet.
You definitely wouldn't love this, especially if you were doing what I did last night, where I covered the Storm first home game. So, I get home about midnight. I get up at 4. So again, if you're watching this, a coffee sponsor would be rad.
I mean,
let's save some
money.
You
would love them too. Yes.
In fact, we'd even do some, because it would probably be a local company. We'd even do some promos in your building.
Yes, there you go.
So he's going to still be doing what he does professionally, although nobody probably knows. And that might be some of the problem.
Yes. I do installation stuff like AV, television, security cameras, audio, like all that kind of stuff. And so I was working for a small company, me and a friend, and a bigger company said, hey, come work for us. So I was like, all right, what's the times you got to be there? 7:30. My first thought legit was, but I got a show at 8. Like, it wasn't even what's the money look like, what's everything else. It was, I got a show at 8 that I really enjoy. So even with the guy who likes to torture me on the show.
Cannabis coffee would actually be fine. It's legal in Washington. So we can't legally gamble, which you can do with the show right here. With the QR code on the screen, up to 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee. For whatever reason, Washington State says drugs are A-OK, but betting, no.
We want your money one way, not the other. Thanks, Raj. I appreciate you, Raj.
Hey, that mortgage comes every month, so you got to pay how you can pay it. Not even mad at it.
What's up, Brian?
Brian. Oh, man. So we were actually talking about that. We don't know. He's just gonna Irish goodbye it. Just be like, I'm not gonna be here. Like,
just log off one time and that's it. Yeah.
Never to be heard from again.
No, y'all are fine. Like, I'm finding a way back to this. So there, one way or another, you guys are not rid of me. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be doing a podcast on the way to a job or something.
Right. All of a sudden, the Wednesday wrap up is midday at his lunch break. Yes. Is that just dangling wires behind you? What is that?
Yeah, that's fine. And ignore that guy screaming. He's hurt, but I'll deal with him in an hour. We're good. Don't worry about it.
I got insulated boots. I'll just kick him off. It'll be all right. Although you guys are mostly low volt anyway, right?
Yeah.
So that's
I know enough about electrical to be dangerous, as they say. So
yep. So might as well kick this thing off with the WNBA. After 21 years of absence, the Portland Fire return to the WNBA, and we get them for their first preseason game, our last preseason game here at Climate Pledge in Seattle. And they're a scrappy team. They got some speed, and I think they're going to be a fun watch. They will, it's kind of like those teams that I think are in the NFL that are a little early, right? They're going to win some games they shouldn't. They're going to lose games they shouldn't. They're going to be up and down, probably miss the playoffs, but be entertaining to watch. And that's exactly what you got last night against the Storm. And of course you get to reignite the puns intended. You can reignite
we're starting early today.
Let's go. When you don't get any sleep, you just keep rolling. Like,
I feel that.
So, but I mean, it's going to be a good rivalry between the cities. It was before. Obviously, when they folded up, it was back when Seattle was winning championships. So it was a little bit different. But and then on Seattle's end, they're almost an expansion team themselves. There's so many new faces on this team, and
flip that roster around for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's only like 2 or 3 people. Well, there's 3 players that were on last year's roster. So all way different. Obviously, a new coach as well. But Flau'jae Johnson had herself a night in front of the home crowd for the first time. Detlef Shrimp in the house, Sue Bird in the house, and she puts up 20 points in 19 minutes. Pretty efficient, and so out of the rookie, you're liking some of the things that you see. Zaya Cook also had a night putting up 19, and that's something we didn't see out of her. She's one of the people that were on our roster last year. And it was something you didn't see out of her. Now, not to say that it wasn't there. She just didn't get opportunities because you had Skylar Diggins and NECA and, Wheeler. And like you had a starting 5 in front of her. And so the way that Quinn ran the team, you just didn't get a lot of bench minutes. So you didn't get to see any of the things that she was able to do. And so it was nice to see her come in and really hit from all over the floor. So there's some of those things that were really encouraging as far as the Storm moving forward. There's also some things that you're like, okay, we got some stuff to work on, and it's a good thing it's preseason because Heidemann, their point guard comes up, and I don't know if this is indicative of her play because I didn't remember watching a lot of her prior. But she is a ball stopper. So she does a lot of ISO ball, right? Yeah. And with the speed of Portland, it didn't work. Like she couldn't get away. She turned the ball over a few times, actually got 0 points for the day. And, it just was a little bit of an issue. You go over to the other side, Jade bringing the ball up the floor. The pace was much faster. Mm-hmm. She was able to move the ball around. Scoring was much more free. The problem is she was so hyper aggressive on defense that she ended up fouling out with like 6 minutes to go in the fourth. And so there's got to be a balance, right? Like you can't,
Yeah.
you can't be that aggressive, and credit the refs for calling everything. There must have been 50 fouls in this game. Like it was wild, but
It's wild in preseason too. Like, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not going that crazy,
no,
but Seattle, yeah.
I think the craziest sequence was there was a foul, side out, a foul from that, and then a foul off of that without ever running a play.
It's like, refs, come on, guys, or ladies, can we
calm down?
Yes. It's just preseason, and you guys are acting like, well, you're not acting like it's the finals because you wouldn't call any of that stuff. So yeah, calm down a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it was pretty crazy. And it wasn't like they were calling anything that you were looking at and you're like, oh, there's obviously an emphasis on this, right? Because I can get with that, where there's a new rule or something to that effect where they're like, hey, we're calling this. Yeah, there was none of that. It was just everything.
Yeah. No, I get that. So, and we had talked about this earlier. I think the Storm, what up, Maddox? The Storm are becoming what I thought they would a couple of years ago when Stewie first left, and they would actually start the rebuild. I think they tried to fight it for a couple of years, and now they're just like, all right, let's just lean into it, and it's not the worst thing. But we've said this plenty of times with general managers and how you run teams. You have to realize that you have multiple years to do things. And as long as you and the owner are on the same page, you can say, look, we might not be where we want to be for a year or two, but like I thought the draft day trade to get them Flau'jae Johnson I thought that was great. I think she didn't have the senior season she wanted at LSU and maybe her stock dropped, but it's always interesting where you can have, hey, here's 3 great years and 1 okay year. Let's just judge everything on that 1 okay year and think that's where she's headed, versus you're getting a talented player for a second round pick and another second round pick. Like you do that all day, and you take your chances. So even if she flopped, you're saying that's a gamble worth taking. We already did
question.
Good.
To your point, it's funny because you see that in the NFL all the time. You'll have a guy that had very little starts or wasn't even good in college, but has an awesome pro day. And they're like, we're going to ignore all these years of tape.
Yes.
and similarly, once they're in the league, they're like, oh yeah, we understand that you had 4 awful years. We picked up the 5th-year option. You just happened to ball out that year. We're going to make you the highest paid guy ever. And it's like, I feel like there's other tape that should be considered here.
Yes. There was and I every time we say this, I need to remember because there was an NBA player. I mean, there's a lot of them that do that, but there's one in particular who did it, balled out his one, contract year.
Mm-hmm.
They paid him. He gained so much weight the next year, he was unplayable. Then he was out of the league in like a couple of years. And I said, you guys really ignored all the evidence at hand.
Yep.
And said, yeah, we're going to go with the small sample size. It's like guys just don't want to watch a whole lot of tape, so they just watch a little. But so as far as Portland and seeing them up close, is there parallels with like the Valkyrie and how quickly they came on and even got into or is that you're saying it's too soon for that? Scrappy, but not at that level.
So you don't really know yet, right? And you don't know about the Storm either, because neither one of these teams had all of their stars in the game, right? So both teams have either players that are still playing overseas or have injuries to overcome. The Storm actually have both. So it's too early to I mean, that's also one of the things about preseason. You don't really know how lineups are going to go. When you look at the minutes for the Storm, they went deep into the bench. In fact, they played some players that were not even slated to play.
Right.
So
I see it spread out pretty good.
Like it was
I'm still scrolling down, like what the heck?
It was deep, So I mean, which was cool. It was cool to see all of that. But the things that you really got to take away from it is they do have some players on that team. They have a lot of speed and they don't quit, right? So the Storm jumped out early. I mean, they had a double-digit lead right away. And then they reeled them back in, and then the Storm would push it right back out.
Right.
They finally reeled it in enough just after half to take their first lead. They didn't hold it very long. And then the Storm jumped back out to a double-digit lead. Like Portland was always in it, but not in it, right?
Yeah.
Like the best they could do is kind of reel them back in. They could never really surge ahead. So again, it's a very small sample size. This is their first game, even in the preseason. So, there's a lot to, try and take away from the smallest sample size possible. Yeah. But that being said, I mean, there was no quit. So you got to like that.
Yeah. And we have an Alabama player. I didn't realize, which I kind of feel bad for Sarah Ashley Barker. She was just drafted. Great. Yes. Well, this is her second team in 2 years in the league. So she balled out. She the last year she played for Alabama, she balled out in the tournament, and one of the she had like 40 points or something, and we lost, which is always frustrating for a player because you're like, don't know what else I can do for you guys. Like I am hitting everything possible. But and
she had a good night.
Yeah, she got picked up by Los Angeles and then picked up by him. I think that's the thing you got to remember about with expansion teams. These are not bad players. They're just like, hey, we can protect like 5 players. You're number 6. And so expansion teams target those kind of, especially with her, second year in the league. Great shooter, good energy. I mean, that's the kind of person you want to. And for her, it's just an opportunity. Like, hey, I wasn't going to get to start anytime soon, in Los Angeles. So, hey, here we go. So, I'm happy for her.
Yeah, no, she absolutely was playing out of her mind. I think she was either the top scorer or like right there. She definitely had the most complete stat line, as I recall. The other player that stood out to me was Jordan Harrison, which is funny because she is tiny on the floor compared to everybody else, but absolutely relentless on defense and plays with incredible speed, which was really something that was disrupting the guards for the Storm. Her speed, her ability to stay in front of a play was really impressive. I think when it comes to the Storm, probably the biggest concern that I had was the bigs were really ineffective, struggled getting rebounds. Now I say that, and Dom still puts up a double-double quietly. She didn't have a great night, but you expect to see more out of her, especially with Ezzy still hurt and not in this game. So that's the thing that's kind of a big concern is you have a very big team and your bigs are not in position to get rebounds a lot. Like we had, we had some of our smallest players in there getting the rebounds, which is hilarious. And then you'd see a lot of the passes that would hit Dom, and the other bigs head out to the perimeter. And it's like, okay, I don't want to see what we see in the NBA, in the WNBA. I get KD as a amazing 3-point shooter. That's great. Most bigs aren't. And even with KD being a great shooter like that, I still would rather see you getting rebounds because second chance points matter.
Yeah.
So,
and he's got the size, but not the strength for real. So that's the tough thing for KD. So last year,
that's an issue for Dom. She is a very lean build, right? Okay. So it's not like she's bodying people out, but she is a foot taller than everybody. So,
right. So I just need you to grab some stuff,
Yeah.
Like Wemby's not, built, but he's tall. So like, just go grab stuff. Although that's an extreme example, of course.
Well, and Wemby's a little bit different because although he's lean, he has that drive to go get the rebound, right?
Very true.
Whereas Dom and Ezzy, basing this off of last season, obviously, don't really do that. Now, I don't know if some of that was just the way schematically it was kind of drawn up from Coach Quinn that put them out of position a lot for rebounds, but just when your bigs don't get in there What was wild to me about that is, especially for Ezzy, is she led the league in blocks. So it's not like it's an effort issue. It's not like there just is an effort. There was just something that wasn't an emphasis on rebounds that we saw very different last night, where everybody was in there trying to get the ball. And that was refreshing, right? Because I mean, this is preseason. So you're just looking for, what are the things we're going to have to fix? What are the things that you're like, oh, okay, that's a vast improvement over a year ago. And there was a lot of those things to key off on in this game.
Yeah, that is interesting to be a good, good at blocks and not rebounds, because both are effort plays and both are a lot about timing. Your greatest jumpers are always going to be your best block person. Sometimes it's just going to be like, can I time this out? Can I get up on this one? Whatever. So that's weird, but it's like, I'm going to try on defense, but as soon as the ball goes up, I'm just going to get my spot and that's it. So that's really weird, because Dennis Rodman was not the biggest guy, but it was all about timing and effort for him. Once a shot went up, he was like, I know where this is landing. So,
I mean, he's always a tough example when you're talking about rebounding, though, because he took it to a whole different level, right? Like he was counting rotations of the ball. And I mean, the way that he really kind of ensured that he was going to be in the right spot was something you really don't see.
Yeah, true. No. Oh, and I had to mention you mentioned the girl for Portland.
Yeah.
Would you say Jordan? Yeah, she was actually undrafted. I guess maybe because of her size. So she was a star at West Virginia, but actually undrafted, and then they signed her. So that's an interesting high motor player that you kind of just falls in your lap. So
yeah. I didn't realize she was undrafted. I thought she was drafted by him, but yeah, I mean,
I didn't either. I'm looking it up. So I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't know who it was until we were in the game, and I'm like, who is this? Like she's going.
Yeah,
but it sounded like she won a defensive player of the year award or something. So I mean, and watching her play, it makes total sense, because I mean, she was everywhere. It's funny because she's so small, and she was bodying people. Like she was knocking people off their spot. And I was just like, this should not happen. But I mean, kudos to her. Like she is absolutely battling out there.
Yeah. Because she led into the Big 12. Yeah. I mean, but you get that a lot. The size kind of makes you fight a little more. So,
yep.
And was a star at West Virginia. So kudos to her, man.
Yeah. And yes, I do want to see the bigs play their role. Like, I'm not a fan of the way the NBA has gone, where your bigs are jacking up threes from 28 feet for no reason. Like, all of a sudden you have an undersized point guard trying to get a rebound because everybody else is already backpedaling down the field. I am not a fan of any of that.
Yeah. Which is, it's hilarious because the NBA is going that way, but the top college teams all had one or two bigs that were just bigs. Didn't shoot a three-pointer the entire time you saw them out there, but they controlled the. I mean, I hate to always bring it back to my own team, because I know there's a person that I do a show with who compares everything to his team. But for Alabama, we had great guard play and great outside play. And the one thing our coach even said at the exit interview, press conference, whatever. Yeah, we need some more bigs. We had one decent big, but he was more like a stretch four. And we said if we had two bigs that would just stay, like our 7-foot guy, I think I would watch games, and I said, if he has more 3-point attempts than rebounds, pull him out the game. Like, this cannot happen. If you are the tallest person I feel like you should get a rebound and earn every 3-point shot. But if you're not going to get any rebounds and you're the tallest person, if I'm the tallest person on the court, I should accidentally get rebounds. Just be hanging out around the basket, reach out my arm, and one come to me without much effort. Like, I don't understand that. So
that is the thing. Like, why aren't you getting those?
Yes.
And it's because you're out of position, because you're already, halfway down the floor. It's like, unless that thing heals off in a ridiculous way, you're out of position for that.
Thank you. And it's always those guys that take off that you're thinking, I'm not kicking it out to you because you're going to mess up this. Like, you can't dribble. You're not smooth. So if I pass it out to you and you have to take more than 3 dribbles, it's going off your foot and out of bounds anyway. So
Yeah,
right in the
I don't want to
basket.
see a big playing ISO ball.
No, no. So no, I don't like where it's gone either. I do like that kind of traditional stuff. And then the thing that you get is when teams are cold and they don't have that traditional big to, because that's what any team with Shaq ever did. All right, we're not hitting, we're not doing this. Dump it down, go get us a bucket. And
Yeah,
teams that all are perimeter, like that would be our problem at times. Hey man, the other team's on the 8-0 run. We need a bucket. What's our play? Oh no, give it to a guard and hope he does something. Like sometimes
yeah.
you just need a person to dump it down to get you an easy bucket.
Well, and to this point right here, it also helps get them in foul trouble. If you have
Yes.
a good big that can stand their ground and get some of those offensive fouls, yeah, I mean, that's huge, right? Because then all of a sudden you're forcing them to move the ball out and,
Yes.
a lower percentage shot generally. Sometimes people are just on one for a day and there's nothing you can do about it. But so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Those are the things that are some of the takeaways I got from it that you're just like, okay, there's work to be done. That being said, camp started the 19th. So it's not like they've been practicing together a ton, right? I
Right.
mean, we're 11 days removed from that.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so it's not like
Keep
you're
in
gonna
mind.
be it's not like you're going to be seeing a finished product out there. I mean,
Right.
these people have practiced together for 11 days and that's it.
Yeah. And this had some of the most turmoil in any offseason. I think you had more player movement than I've seen in a little while this offseason. A lot of people up to the 11th hour, not realizing what team they're going to be on when the season's going to start. So I guarantee you some of these folks were a little pessimistic and minds were already elsewhere. And then all of a sudden the deals get signed. Because, some of them had to think, like, look, what's my backup plan here? They're saying we're going to get a deal done, but I don't 100% know. So what's my backup plan? Where are we going? Oh, okay, we got the deal. Am I re-signing with my team or am I going somewhere else? Oh, okay, I am staying here. Who else is staying here? Because it seems like everyone else is moving. And now all of a sudden you're thrown together and like, hey guys, season starts soon. Let's go. And you're like, oh, okay. Kind of a whirlwind. So I'm not surprised if the early preseason games are weird. And then you're not playing everybody their normal minutes. So you're like, here we go. 12 to 13 players are going to play, in this first game. And some of you, this might be your last game that you get to play. So good luck.
Sure.
Or at least for a while, I should say.
Well, no, because camp actually has more players than make a roster.
Right.
So even though the roster is expanded by one player, that doesn't really mean anything, right? Because if you were that last player, you weren't getting minutes anyway. You're getting minutes if somebody gets hurt. Like that. That's really where that is. But I just think that the way everything went this time with the expansion, the holdout, like all of these things definitely make it hard. You look at Toronto's going to be a good team. That's the other expansion right? So the Toronto Tempo, Portland Fire, and I said it last night. Seattle is basically an expansion team with the amount of new players, new coach, all of that. I mean, the only returning starter from last season is Ezzy, and she's hurt. We don't know exactly when she's going to come back. She has a foot injury from playing overseas. So I don't know. It's
going to be a weird year for y'all.
It is. And I think we're on the same trajectory as the Fire, where it's going to be a fun watch. It's going to be up and down. There's going to be a lot of frustration when you're going to have moments where you're like, okay, like here we go. We're starting to find something. So I think it's going to be that type of year. But I mean, when you have that many new people, as young of a roster as it is, that's not terrible. And Portland's going to have the same thing. And if you're a Portland fan, you got to be excited about that. So because this was their first game, and I don't know why the league scheduled their first preseason game so late into it, because everybody else has already had one. Most of them have played their second or their last preseason game. This was their first one. So it seemed weird that they got such a late start at it. But, so there was a ton of Portland media in the building, right? Because it's their first, game in 21 years. So I was talking to one of the reporters that was next to me, and I was just like, oh, like because she was a field reporter, I was like, what's the feeling around town with the expansion? There's like, oh, a lot of excitement, all which you'd assume, right? I was like, so how was the general feeling about the contract dispute? And in Portland, they're like, she was like, yeah, down in Portland, we were just not talking about it because because they didn't want to, create pessimism or
Right.
worry the fan base that the team wasn't coming or whatever. So she was just like, yeah, we just kind of weren't really talking about it. It's like, oh, just glossing over the top. She's like, absolutely.
That's hilarious. I get
Right?
it though. I get it. Your team's supposed to be coming back, and this is the season we're not having. So I absolutely get it. That's hilarious. I feel for them, and I'm glad everything did work out. But that would be me too, though. Hey, Herb, you no? But should we? No, I'm good. Got enough other stuff to worry about. I'm just gonna pretend like it's happening. So.
Don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah. No, it was it was pretty funny. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was in the row. There's 2 rows of tables, so it was me and my buddy Cam, right? And then everybody else on our row was Portland media.
It's good to see the excitement, though. It is good to see the excitement. You got to have it.
That's exactly what we're going to have soon as the Sonics come back.
Right.
Like the media especially for that first game, the media for that is going to be insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I will probably have a hard time getting credentials for them in their first year simply because everybody's going to try and be in the building.
No, for sure. For sure. I hope they're patient with the product, but yeah, the first year, it's going to be wild. You're going to, and for all expansion teams, the biggest thing is like, look, we're not trying to win a title in 2 years. We're trying to figure out, do we have a core? Have we drafted well? Exactly. Have we signed a couple free agents? Do we have the 2 to 3 players that we know we can, because you're not keeping 5 to 6 players together long-term, almost, like any of the basketball sports anymore. So it's
typically not. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me get my 2 to 3, and that's Storm, like you said, in the same boat. And are these, like, as far as your Johnson, is she the person for y'all going forward? Well, guess what? You got a couple years to start to figure it out. So,
and I mean, if last night was any indication, are there elements of her game that she's got to clean up and what? Of course,
right.
At the same time, she rattles off 20, and she goes after the ball. And that's something that was missing from this team. It's also something that's infectious. If you have somebody that is, going to go battle for rebounds and those types of things, drive to the basket, that is absolutely something that other players will feed on. And so even if she isn't leading the scoring, she will help bring an energy that I just feel like last year wasn't there.
Was gone.
I mean, you had a lot of star power. I mean, Nneka was the president of the Players Association, former league MVP, like all of this stuff. Fantastic player. Gabby was awesome. Diggins awesome. Wheeler. But they just didn't have that fight most of the time. Like, you would see Diggins lose her mind when there was a frustration level, but you didn't have that like fight down low to get rebounds. And
right.
That was an element that I talked about a lot last year. That was a frustrating watch because you're like, you have all this star power, great defense, tons of steals, tons of blocks, can't get a rebound. That was not the case at all last night. Like, everybody was flying around trying to get the ball. And that's huge because, again, like I said before, second chance points can it can make the difference in a game, no question.
Oh yeah. Like I said, 2 of the better players in SEC are better teams. That's their whole strategy. We're not going to be the best shooting team, but we're going to be the best effort team, and that's going to actually win you a lot of games. So absolutely, you're coming down, and your shooting percentage is terrible, but you're getting 3 shots every time. Like, people like to bag on Angel Reese sometimes, but the motor is high. So you can say whatever you want, but she's going after every rebound. So
Well, and now that her shooting is starting to come in,
right.
The thing that's funny is you say her name. Like if you ever just want to rage bait people, just give her a compliment in any way possible.
Yeah.
Just like any compliment, doesn't matter what it is. And then it will be the most rage bait comment section ever. Because you know, her stat line with the Dream last night wasn't bad. Right? Like she had a decent night.
Especially in the minute that she played. Yeah, like 8.7 rebounds and all like 13 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I reposted that today just to see who would argue with me.
No, and they will. They will. Like it'll be a hater section like nothing else. But if you ever need clicks, just include her name in it. Yeah. So
you remember we had a show once and we mentioned it, and the person over there who is somebody who follows our channel, but I'm like, you're letting me know exactly what you think when he's like, oh, they tried to make injuries start and it failed. And I was like, what do you see? Like right there you go. People who say that kind of stuff are people, but the person who said it, the people who say this stuff are the people who don't watch the sport. He even said, well, I don't even watch the WNBA.
Yeah,
so
well,
you don't watch a sport, but you know who you want to hate.
And the MeBound
a lot about you.
comment lets you know that they don't watch. Because even if you got rid of all of her offensive rebounds, she would have led the league in rebounds. So even if and it's not like every offensive rebound she gets was hers, but say you just eliminate the offensive rebounds, she still leads the league in rebounds. So
nobody wants to hear that though.
No, I mean, you can hate all you want, but she's a good basketball player. They were just trying to use her in a way that doesn't match her skill set. That would have been like trying to make Dennis Rodman your main scorer. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. That's not the position he played. Was he a bad shooter? No, but he wasn't Michael Jordan. He wasn't Pippen. Yeah. Right. And so, you know, Reese is the same thing. You put some shooters around her, that's a problem. And then you look at the I forget her name offhand. They drafted her also Cardoso. A high motor defense.
You talking about like Cardoso or at
no, in Atlanta. In Atlanta. They drafted I don't know why I'm mind blanking, but they drafted a girl that also a high volume rebounder.
Right, like the girl they said might be a little bit of a project, but they still, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, but again, a great rebounder. Right. So I mean, the Dream are going to own the glass.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I was thinking you meant Cardoso just because that was always my problem with Chicago, was drafting Cardoso and Reese together didn't make sense. Because now all you're doing is clogging up the lane for both of them. So.
Exactly. Well, and that's where they kept trying to bounce her out and make her, you know, a point guard. And it just just isn't her position.
Right. Medina Okotz. I don't know if I messed up her last name, but that's who you were talking about for the Dream draft.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's I think she's gonna have a much better year this year, being able to play the position she's supposed to play.
Yeah, for sure. I had to go check to make sure nobody is anybody. I want people to take the bait. I like it. So I'm not watching. It took out my gallbladder, not my feelings.
I mean, but if you're just going in on the MeBounds thing, you're not watching.
You know what I mean?
Like you're telling on yourself. It's like the people that still say that Lamar Jackson is a running back playing quarterback. We're just ignoring his efficiency numbers and his QBR and all of that. We're just stats don't matter anymore. Okay.
Unless they support your player, stats don't matter.
Exactly. That's right. Why mess up a story with facts?
Yes. Facts, don't need them. Get that crap out of here. What are you talking about?
So, but no, I'm excited for this season to kick off. You know, you're already seeing the effects of the new TV contract. So that is interesting. The availability and timing and all of that has shifted a ton. Yeah. So now on game day, if I want to have a pregame interview with players, which used to happen, used to have a few that were designated going into the game, you know, roughly about an hour before, right? So while shoot around and stuff was happening, they usually had, you know, 3 of the players that would come and talk to the media and all that. Well, now because of the TV deal and the other TV programs are also in the building, we'll have to be there at about 11 a.m. to get any of those for a 7 o'clock game.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a long day.
And it's already a long day, right? So like
Yeah.
when I get to the stadium, you know, I get there at about 4, and then I'm leaving at 10:30, 11. Right. So now we're talking about I'm gonna have to be there at like 10.
Yeah.
And because then you're watching some of the practice, and then you get some of your interviews, and then you got a section of time that you doesn't really make sense to go all the way home for. Right. Because you're already downtown Seattle, you've already parked, you've already done all this stuff. And then, I don't live close enough to Seattle to just like pop home. Right. So then it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do downtown for like 4 hours before I get back into the stadium to do other stuff? So it's going to be an interesting adjustment period. We'll call it that.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd get me in trouble. I'd probably have a good meal and want to take a nap and not want to go back. Like I'm one of those, if I'm out, once you get me out of that mindset, I'm done. Either that, I'd be spending a lot of money every time just on food and something else. Or I guess you got to find a place to go watch other games. Sir, do you want anything else to drink? Just a drink. I'm good, and I'm going to sit here.
See, that's the problem is you can't even do that, because then you have the pregame press conference, the game, and then the postgame press conference with coach and a couple of the players. But so it's not even like you can be drinking before you do any of that. So you're just like chilling downtown somewhere.
Oh man, that's a lot of time to kill.
It is. I mean, obviously you could be, writing, especially now that a game has happened, kind of, you could be writing articles, and you could actually be doing your job. I get it. But at the same time, where it's really nice to write? Oh, it's in my office.
Yes. I know. Let me be comfortable at home.
Right. So. Like I can do it right here. Stats only matter if you win.
304 touchdowns, so 6 picks and loses by what? Like, are we just making up stats for people?
See, and it's funny that you say stats only matter if you win, and then you just throw out stats because then all of a sudden stats matter again, right? So they only matter if they're negative. Is that what we're taking away here? We're just a professional hater. I like it. I'm not mad. I mean, you do you.
So, don't like Jackson. Don't like Angel Reese. Is there who's next on the list? Is that what we're doing?
Like who do you like? Is it just Herb? I mean, obviously, it's not this show anymore.
Yes.
Oh man. That being said, there was some playoff action, obviously, in the NHL and the NBA. So should talk some of that before we get out of here today.
That was intense.
See, there we go. See, this tracks. This tracks.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair.
As long as you own it, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm really good with that. So
who are the people you don't like? People. Yes.
Yes. Dude, on our show Saturday night, we had an Auburn guy there, and he's usually a very level-headed Auburn guy, but he'd had some drinks, and he was, everything we said about Alabama, he refuted. And I said, wait a minute. I said, you don't even believe some of the stuff you're saying. He goes, I'm just being a hater. I said, fair enough. Continue. Hey, that's, as long as you say it, I am absolutely good with it. So.
No question. The expectation at that point. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. I know where we're going. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'll come on this ride with you.
Yeah, that was good. My brother thought there was about to be a problem. He turned around and he was like, no. I was like, no, we're good. He knows. Yeah. We're friends. He knows what we're saying, but I know what he says when we're not on the show, so I'm just trying to hear. But if he's playing the hater role, I'm good. So
well, yeah, and you like cookies and a cold glass of milk. That makes total sense because nobody's talking to you. Like you're just alone by yourself enjoying a cookie. Like I get it. I'm not mad.
Philly would be happy last night. That was, I
Yes.
mean, that did not disappoint as far as intensity. I mean, getting to overtime scoreless.
Yep.
For Pittsburgh, you're thinking, if I get this win, we have a game 7 at home and we've
Yeah.
redeemed a 3-0 start. And you're Philly, you can see a little desperation because you're thinking, I don't want to go back to Pitt. No matter how well you've started in the series, nobody wants to go on the road for a game 7.
Well, especially
So
losing momentum the way they did.
yes. So that was a tough one. And it's something that you guys had always talked about, just taking shots sometimes, just firing it in there. The game-winning shot looked like from an almost impossible angle goes in. I think nicks the bar a little bit. I was like, I had to watch the replay a couple times to see, because I'm the way from where he shot it and then much, was in front of the net. I was like, it must have got deflected. And no, it just went in the tiniest of spots to get by the goaltender and pop in. And I was like, that's amazing. And to seeing the excitement and, hey, we're going to the second round. I remember when we started, Philly was thinking, I don't even know if we're going to make the playoffs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now all of a sudden be in the second round. I mean, that's amazing. So kudos to the Flyers. I know you said they've got a tough one with Carolina, but man, at least enjoy that for 24 hours first before you start worrying about the next. But it was an awesome game and an awesome one to watch.
They picked the right time to go on a heater, right? Like they come back from the Olympic break. And, going into that Olympic break, one of the things I kept saying was, this break is long enough that it's going to either reset some teams or just take the team out, right? And his team got that reset. Like they had that 3 weeks off. They came back and they've been on a heater since. And then, my Kraken was the exact opposite. Like they were controlling their own destiny. And then they went on break and they're like, you know what I liked was that break. Let's do more of that.
They got a little too used to it. So
yeah. No, it was ugly on our end. But I mean, for them, like the Flyers look like a team you really got to kind of worry about, right? They're a scrappy team that they're young enough that they can come in, they don't know they're supposed to lose. So they're going to give Carolina all they can handle. Now, I don't think they win, but this is great experience for a young team.
For sure. And that was part of his point. I just want them to get in. I want them to experience this. I want the city to experience it. Yeah. Now you're guaranteed at least 2 more home games. And then, like you said, you never know. Scrappy will get you a couple. Even if you don't get the series, you can get even like a 4-2 respectable loss. That's a lot of experience. And you kind of see the things you need to work on next year. So
exactly.
Kudos to them and kudos to, like you guys said, hey, if you're going to watch one playoff series, watch this one. So I tried to take in most of it. And, it didn't disappoint. So even in the games where you could tell they kind of ran away with it a little bit, you could still see the intensity and the fight. And I'm kind of kudos to Pittsburgh being down 3-0 and getting back to this point. You lose the series on a 1-0 overtime loss. I mean, that's a pretty tough way to go out, but kudos to them to even getting back to this point. So
well, and I mean, and you still pushed it to a game 6, being down 3-0. Could have easily forced a game 7. I mean, you just need one to go differently, right?
Right.
So I mean, Pittsburgh gave it everything you had. Obviously, it's a rivalry anyway. So awesome. I mean, really, all of these series have been pretty great. Playoff hockey is always wildly entertaining anyway. But when you look at where the series are, a lot of them are 3-2 right now.
Yeah.
And almost every series has had overtime games. And so, I mean, it's, it's been wildly entertaining.
Yeah. He's saying
now,
3 games.
I would have liked it better. I would have liked it better if there was one other team in the mix, but
right. That's what's always the toughest. Like everyone's enjoying this, but me right now. So, okay. So tonight, Dallas at Minnesota, Edmonton, Anaheim, and then tomorrow, I guess he's saying 3 more.
What's that now?
I'm reading his thing about the game 6s, and I only got 2 tonight. Edmonton and Anaheim, Dallas and Minnesota, that's been a weird series too. But even last night, you've got 2 1-goal games again, another one in overtime. So it's playoff hockey is not disappointed. So I've enjoyed the ride.
Absolutely. So let's pop over to basketball real quick, since we're light on time here. Am I the only one that kind of enjoyed the fact that the Lakers are faltering a little bit?
Hope Raj is not what, because we were texting last night during this game, and during our show, people got into a basketball conversation, and everyone the Lakers close it out tonight. Austin Reeves is coming back. Yeah, Lakers close it out tonight.
I agree. Yeah, I just think it would be funny.
No. I'm talking about last night. People were saying it, and then the Rockets win.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get that the Lakers probably win this series, but you do have to go back to Game 6 in Houston. So you're saying there's a chance.
There is a chance.
I absolutely like to see the Lakers falter. So I always think it's hilarious. So no, don't tell Raj I said that. But yes, I did not mind that loss at all.
Erwin, we're taking some of your haterade, and I, as a Sonics fan, I do have some of that for the Lakers. So I do understand.
I'm absolutely fine with it. And earlier, Nick tried to bitch at Jackson Hayes in like the same conversation as Jokic, and I was like, no way. And then you look at his line last night: 10 minutes, no points, no shots, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover. So 2 fouls. He is not. He's not a traditional anything really to me. But for the Lakers, you really wanted to end this series because Oklahoma City is just sitting there waiting for you. And as an older team, rest means a lot to you.
That's what I was going with, is they needed to get this done just because they're old and they need to sit down.
Yes, exactly. And then you get Reeves back last night and lose that game. That actually just hurts a little. I mean, I still think they win the series.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Durant has already been ruled out for the next game. Which
has he? I didn't see that.
Yeah, it popped up a little while ago. I thought earlier this season or earlier this series he got ruled out for weeks, and then maybe I was wrong because they're still ruling him out game by game. But yeah, Blurb came across earlier and said he's already out for the next game.
Then it's probably a wrap for sure.
Yeah, they just don't have anybody who can consistently get them a bucket.
Yeah, no, exactly. The Brian's got to be excited. Pistons keep this thing alive and take down the Magic. It's funny because I thought the Pistons were going to win this. Orlando's looked good. They
have. Orlando has all of a sudden looked like, what's up, Joe? And thank you, Mom. I'm gonna do my best to be back here. The Magic were a team, like I said, they made that trade for Bane. And people were like, okay, are they headed for a top 4 seed? And they fall into the play-in instead. Yeah. The problem for the Pistons is the Magic are finally playing like that team everyone thought they were getting at the beginning of the year at the exact wrong time. So it's not your traditional 1 versus 8 matchup here when you have a talented team that just could not put it together for the whole year. So that's what you have happening. Having said that, Game 6, like all these other series we've been talking about, Game 6 in Orlando, you need to close this out. You do not want to go back to Detroit for the number 1 seed, getting momentum at home. So, but no, kudos to Detroit for fighting back. We'll see what happens. The other problem for them is Detroit is also, kind of a young team with not a lot of playoff experience. And now all of a sudden you're the number 1 seed. Like that's a heck of a way to break in to the playoffs. So,
I mean, we watched that happen before with OKC. And OKC obviously gets knocked out of the playoffs that first time through because, well, you're young, right?
Yes.
And when it comes to the playoffs, veteran leadership does help. So that being said, OKC then turns around, wins the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Realistically, there's a good chance they do that again this year.
Right.
But if you're a Detroit fan, you got to be kind of excited about where you're headed.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I know you're the number 1 seed. Yeah. Joe, the thing that's going to make you mad is they were up 6 points with 20 seconds left in Game 3. You guys could be 3-0, 3-2 in a series and going back to Houston with a chance to close out the series. But somehow you get a turnover, foul a guy throwing up a desperation three, then turn the ball over again and give up a 3 to force overtime. Good. And I remember all this because I was rooting so hard for you, and I could not believe that game fell apart. But the Rockets could be in the driver's seat even without KD. So that's
the problem is Joe's been betting on his team.
Oh, Joe.
What are we doing, man?
Oh, yeah. So then he switched over to betting on the Lakers, and now they're losing. And Joe's just like, I don't know. Am I betting with my heart or my wallet? Hey, I don't know what's going on.
You can't bet with your wallet because you're losing either way, right? So you have to bet with your heart. You're like, whoever I'm betting on is going to lose. My team's getting a ring. I'm not giving any money, but my team's getting a ring.
Yeah.
Man.
And whoever wins gets the honor of getting smoked by
betting from the Lakers.
Yeah. It makes sense, Joe. It makes sense. You're a true fan, Joe. You're a true fan.
Yeah. Hey, when you realize you're the mush, you lean into it. You'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm the unlucky. Got it. Let's just channel it towards the other team.
Yes.
I had a buddy that whenever he wore, I think it was a jersey, or maybe it was when he's at the game. It was something like they lost every time. So he's just like, I'm never doing that again. And then he bought some other team jerseys, and every time he wore those, that team lost. And he's like, oh, this is perfect. I'll just look like I'm rooting for the other team, and my team wins.
Oh my goodness. The weirdest superpower ever.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Oh, that's rude. So bad. They're saying that scandal could have a whole lot more names to it. So
I expect it to. Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
It's about to get bad. You can't get in bed with all these gambling sites and then be upset when everyone's gambling. Like, I don't know what you guys thought was going to happen.
It's such a wild thing when they're like, okay, gambling is bad, brought to you by DraftKings. And you're like, what?
Exactly. So, and usually, I'm not surprised at the scandals at the smaller schools, because that's the place. If I'm playing for New Orleans, I'm basketball, not the privateer, excuse me, not the Pelicans or whatever. That's the places you target because those guys are not going to the NBA. So an extra 10,000 a drop a game here.
Yep.
I could see where that would hit. So I'd be surprised if you ever got, like a Duke star in it. But smaller schools, I can absolutely see it. Less eyes on you two at times.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it would be harder to get a Duke star today.
Right.
Like if this was 6-7 years ago, where the NIL hadn't, become the thing it is today. Okay. I think at that point it would have been a lot easier. Be like, hey, shave some points here. We'll give you 10 grand. And a lot of those kids have been like, yeah, college is expensive. Okay. Like, I'll just turn the ball over or miss a pass or whatever, right?
Right.
And there was probably a fair amount of that anyway. Let's be honest. You just didn't hear about it.
Yeah. Well, now the markets get out there more and all these player props. Yeah. You're going to see more of it.
That being said, that does get us to the top of the hour. If you are listening on the radio, 97 ICU, we do have some smooth jazz headed your way. And of course, if you're listening on every other platform, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
Peace.